Hi guys, welcome to my channel Happy High Tarot. In today's pickacard reading, we will find out what will be your future spouse's first impression of you. So you can see an image on your screen right now. You've got three options to choose from. Feel free to pause the video over here, meditate on all your options, pick whichever one calls out to you the most. You'll find the timestamps in the comment section as well as in the description box below. So make your choice and let's get started. Hello group 1, if you guys chose the first image, let's start your reading by taking a look at the oracles that came out for you guys about what will be your future spouse's first impression of you. So the cards that came out for you are Come to the Edge, then we have Miracle, Heal the Ouch, and we have The Answers You Need Are Coming. There might be a 2-year age gap between you and your future spouse for some of you. You might be 36 years of age or 38 years of age when you meet your future spouse for some of you. Anyway, well, firstly, right off the bat over here, with Come to the Edge and Miracle, it seems as if your future spouse is going to fall for you during that first meeting itself. For them, it will be love at first sight. And something about Miracle over here tells me that they might have a hard time believing their luck or believing their destiny, that it led them to someone as fantastic as you. And the way we have this figure of a girl dancing between the flames, it seems as if you might be blissfully unaware, group 1, of the effect that you're having on them. But they will almost immediately be nothing short of a smitten kitten that I can see over here. They will like the fact that you are not very diplomatic, that you speak your mind, you speak your heart, you don't really twist your words too much, you don't really try to sugarcoat anything. So the fact that you are bold and brazen that way, they'll really like it. Maybe you would be wearing something yellow or something blue that day when you guys meet, or maybe you would have left your hair open if that applies to you, and they will really like that. I mean, the way that you're looking, maybe your skin is glowing, your outfit is on point, everything about you, like I said, and as we can see, they will fall for you. Something about your presence might be very comforting and very healing for them. And again, I'm being told that you won't even realize that you're having this really healing effect on your future spouse. Whether it is the kind of conversations that you're having with them, whether it is the kind of responses that you're giving to them, depending upon whatever it is that they're telling you about them, based on, of course, how it is that this first meeting is taking place, they'll really love the fact that they feel so seen and so heard by you. They don't have to pretend to be anybody else, and you clearly aren't pretending to be anybody else. So your authenticity is another thing that your future spouse will really like and admire about you. Something about your touch as well. So if you guys, hug each other or shake hands or give each other a peck, whatever it is, because this is the first time you guys are interacting, so whatever the extent of it might be, but your touch will also be physically very soothing and very healing for them. Another thing that your future spouse will really like about you is the fact that you know how to keep the conversation going. They say something and then you say something. You have that ability in you. You guys just keep bouncing off of each other's ideas, highlights of the conversation and stuff. It also seems as if you like to talk about yourself, and at the same time you like to get to know the other person as thoroughly as possible. And the fact that you're able to strike that balance is another thing that your future spouse will notice about you and they like about you. Because it'll make it clear to them that you're not full of yourself. You're not one of those people who only like to talk about themselves. It'll also be very clear to them that you're equally interested in getting to know them as much as you're interested in laying bare all your likes, dislikes, and all facets of your personality in front of them. So again, that ability to communicate really well and that transparency of communication is something that they'll notice about you and greatly appreciate. Okay, let's take a look at your tarot cards now. We have the Six of Swords, Page of Swords, Ten of Pentacles. We have the Hanged Man. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Pentacles. So I told you that pretty much when they see you, they interact with you, they'll fall for you. And because, of course, this is a future spouse reading, I love that we have the Ten of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles over here, because this tells me that pretty much in that first meeting itself, your future spouse would have made up their mind that you are the person for them. You are the person with whom they wish to spend the rest of their life. Specifically, when it comes to you, I think when you talk about the things that you are interested in, group one, your face really lights up, and maybe your the pitch of your voice, it goes up a notch. So it's very clear that you're talking about something that you are deeply excited about, and they'll notice that and they'll find it very endearing. In fact, enduring to such an extent that with the Page of Swords, after they've started talking to you, they might adopt a lot of the words and phrases that you commonly use in their communication style. One thing that your future spouse will notice about you in that first impression is that you're very dynamic. So it's not like you're going on discussing just one thing with them, or you're going on talking about just one thing to them. You keep switching it up. You keep it fresh. You keep it very exciting. And how do you do that? I don't think they'll be able to figure that part out. But the fact that you are able to do this, maneuver your way out of a conversation or a topic which is on the point of becoming dull or drab or boring, is something that they'll notice and deeply appreciate. There's also something about you being very knowledgeable or knowing a lot about different things. You're very well aware of world politics also. You're very well aware of what's going on in the entertainment industry also. Maybe you have a lot of knowledge about stock markets also. There's just so much that you know of. And I think that might be another reason actually why you do not run out of things to talk about. And so the fact that I just heard yapper, some of you consider yourselves to be yappers, which honestly you might be, but the good news is that the person that you'll be spending the rest of your life with does not mind your yapping. They actually like it. They actually like it when you keep on talking and talking and talking. Another thing that will be evident to your future spouse will be how deeply attached you are to your family, how much your family, your siblings, your parents, your cousins, your relatives and all of that, or maybe even your closest friends, how much they mean to you. Because it is possible that while you are sharing some interesting anecdote with them, it might have something to do with your family. It might have something to do with a family trip that you had taken, and all sorts of crazy stuff was happening on that particular trip. But basically, the manner in which you speak about certain people whom you are related to or whom you are friends with, that will make it very evident to your future spouse how much those people mean to you. And this is something that your future spouse will like about you, the fact that you are so connected and so attached to these people, to your family, to your friends, to your relatives. One thing that your future spouse will notice, even though, as we've seen, conversations are going really well, they have fallen for you, they think you're a really great person, but there is no sense of desperacy on your end. It's not like you are more than eager to take things forward. There is, despite all of this, despite all the non-stop talking and all of that, despite that, there is this sense of restraint or control, you can say, that you will be having, almost as if you are still in command. Yes, you're talking a lot, yes, you're giving away a lot of information, but you are still in command. The ball is still in your court, and the next date or the next conversation will only happen if you are up for it, if you are willing to take things forward. So the fact that you, and again, I'm at a loss of words, because in the words of your future spouse, how do you do this, group one? You can be very giving and at the same time make it known that you have your boundaries in place. So just because I'm talking to you very nicely does not mean that you can now take me for granted or consider me like just another option, because you haven't got me yet. I'm not yours just yet. You will have to work for it. I'm not going to be an easy catch. So And without saying any of these sentences, of course, just through that control, it'll be very evident. And I think that your future spouse will find it very, very sexy, is what I'm hearing. So the fact that you're able to have that restraint, you're able to exercise that control, and something about your eyes is coming up now, group one, that confidence is getting reflected in your eyes, as if your future spouse has given it away that they're falling for you, and you've got that signal, and now you're smiling internally, and it can, that glimmer is getting reflected in your eyes, like, I knew, like, I know I've got this. But I don't want you to think that you've got this. It's not going to be, I'm not going to make it that easy for you. So there is a bit of that push and pull, a bit of that banter, a bit of that naughtiness, even, you can say, which your future spouse will notice, and they'll really like it. All right, group one. So these are all the messages that I have for you right now. If you like this reading, do give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new over here, and hit the bell icon when you do so. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, group 2. If you guys chose the second image, let's start your reading about what will be your future spouse's first impression of you by taking a look at your oracles. So the cards that came out for you guys are community. Then we have creation, storm fields, and your dreams need a practical plan. There might be a 1-year age gap between you and your future spouse. August or September might be of significance. There is also a possibility over here with community and creation that your future spouse might not be too far off. This might be someone who runs in the same circles as you, or who will be introduced to you through someone whom you already know, except that in your wildest dreams, you could have never imagined that this is how you will be meeting your future spouse. So anyway, let's get to it. Well, first things first, I feel like you will be like a breath of fresh air in your future spouse's life, and that'll be very evident to them when they have that initial interaction with you. There is this sense to you of being, basically not giving a fuck, which they will notice and which they will like. The fact that you say whatever, express yourself in whichever way you think fit, and you don't really care how it's going down with the people around you, because you know that the people who like you, the people who love you, they don't matter. They don't care about how it is that you're expressing yourself, or what it is that you're saying, or even what it is that you're wearing. And the ones who do mind don't matter to you. So this thought, philosophy, or principle of yours will be very evident to your future spouse, and they'll actually appreciate you for it. They'll really like it. Now, the interesting thing over here is that although you and your future spouse will be meeting each other for the first time, they won't get that sense of you being a stranger. And it's because of you. It's because of who you are as a person, group 2. You are very good at making people feel comfortable in your presence. You're very good at making people feel welcome and appreciated. You're very good at making people, you basically give off very warm and friendly vibes when you want to. There is that little disclaimer over here. So firstly, the fact that you have this sweet and salty side to you, your future spouse will like that. Secondly, the fact that you're making them feel like they are one of your own is another thing that they'll really appreciate. One of the other things that I can see over here that your future spouse will think of you is that you seem to be very determined, very driven, and very dynamic by the way you're speaking, by the way you're carrying yourself, maybe even because of whatever it is that you do for a living. Because with creation over here, maybe your career, group 2, is very offbeat, or maybe it is something that nobody in your family has done before you. In fact, it's quite possible that nobody in your future spouse's family does what you do for a living. So they'll be very interested to know more about what it is that you do. And the fact that you speak about this with so much passion, and the fact that you weren't afraid to forge your own path, is another thing that your future spouse will admire about you. You are feisty, group 2. Now, I don't know exactly in which manner would your feisty attitude show itself in front of your future spouse. Maybe you guys are hanging out in a group setting and something happens, and you speak your mind. You show somebody their place, and that's how your future spouse knows that, okay, group 2 is not to be messed with. Group 2 has that zing to them. Group 2 is feisty, but they will like it. It's not like that'll make them afraid of you. It's not that it'll make them feel very intimidated by you, that, oh, I don't want to talk to this person anymore. They'll actually like this. And in any case, like I told you in the beginning, the fact that you have this duality in your personality, where you are good to those who are good to you, but then when someone is unnecessarily being bad to you, you know how to show them how it's done. So this duality, this polarity is something that your future spouse will really like about you. Another message that just came in for you, group 2, is that after meeting you for the first time, your future spouse will not shut up about you. They will talk about you for hours on end, whether it is their parents, their siblings partners, whether it is their best friend or other people that they hang out with. This person will absolutely not shut up about you. Okay, let's take a look at your tarot cards now, group 2. We have the Page of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, the World in reverse, and we have the Nine of Cups. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Pentacles. With the Page of Cups being your first card over here, I think that your future spouse will develop an instant crush on you, but they might not be too sure of where they stand with you. Now, with the World being in reverse over here with Storm Fields, I definitely feel like your future spouse will think that you are someone who has their boundaries in place and who does not appreciate people crossing those boundaries, which also we've already seen that there might be something that happens where they, like you display that feisty, spicy side of yours. So perhaps that is what this is about. There might also be some cultural differences between you and your future spouse, which won't seem to faze you, which won't seem to affect you at all. And the fact that you couldn't care less. Oh, and this brings me back to a message that I had channeled for you guys earlier, that you have zero fucks to spare. So that attitude of yours, that mindset of yours is something that your future spouse will notice and really like. One more message that I just got over here with the World in reverse and the Nine of Pentacles is that during that first conversation, there might be certain questions that your future spouse asks you simply out of curiosity, but you might not be willing to let them in that close that soon, which is why either politely or otherwise you might dodge those questions. You might not give them those answers. And I think that is what will make it very clear to them that it doesn't matter who is in question or who is standing in front of you. If you do not want someone stepping in too close, you simply won't allow it. And so the fact that you are so fiercely protective of your space is what your future spouse will notice. And they might actually feel like they can learn a thing or two from it. Another thing over here that your future spouse will notice about you, group 2, is that you are very independent. Like you do not like being told what to do. You do not appreciate it someone else ordering food for you and stuff. You want to do everything on your own. And so the fact that you're not necessarily desperate for a partner, it's not that you need a partner, that is another thing that'll be very clear to them. Post that interaction with you, it'll be very clear to your future spouse that you will be just fine even without them. Although, like I said, with the Page of Cups over here and the World in reverse, ever since that first meeting, especially because they will like you so much, like I said, they won't shut up about you. They will start thinking about how can they become a part of your inner circle, how can they get closer to you. But simultaneously, it'll be clear to them that with or without them, you will be just fine. And that sense of individuality and that independence is something that your future spouse will like about you. Another interesting thing over here with the Nine of Cups is the fact that you went after what it is that you like. And this brings me back to the career message that I had channeled for you guys earlier, that perhaps whatever it is that you do for a living is drastically different from others in your family have done previously. And you couldn't care less. You do you, right? You do what it is that you like. And you talk about it with so much passion. you are chasing your dreams. And so that is what, oh, and we do have your dreams need a practical plan over here as well. So the fact that you aren't just all talk, you also execute and properly put into action the things that you are passionate about is what your future spouse will find very inspirational, I would say, about you. Another interesting thing over here, and perhaps the reason why they won't shut up about you and why they'll develop a crush on you, is because with the Nine of Cups over here, who you are as a person, whether it is your personality, your nature, your looks, everything might be either exactly or very close to what your future spouse had always wanted for themselves. And when they see you or when they interact with you, it'll be very clear to you that you are who it is that they'd been searching for so long, and perhaps never really had any luck with it. There is a softness to you as well. There is that tender side to you as well, which your future spouse will notice. And especially if this is a community setting where you guys are interacting with each other or meeting each other for the first time, they might notice that the way you are interacting with any children that might be there, or even the elderly people who might be there, is just so heartwarming. For example, when you're interacting with kids, you're talking to them like how you would if you were a kid yourself, like that, or you're being very attentive to any elderly people over there. So the fact that you're a baddie from the outside but a softie from the inside is something that they'll notice. They might not comment on it, but it's like they'll make a small mental note of it, and it's just one of the many things that they'll like about you. All right, group 2. So these are all the messages that I have for you right now. If you like this reading, do give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new over here, and hit the bell icon when you do so. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, group 3. If you guys chose the third image, let's start your reading about what will be your future spouse's first impression of you by taking a look at your oracles first. So the cards that came out for you are Go the Distance. Then we have Impasse, Encouragement, and Your commitment is being tested. All right. There is a possibility that your future spouse might be a tad bit older than you, let's say by 4 or 5 years, or maybe even more for some of you. It is also possible that you guys might meet each other while you are traveling. Either you would have traveled to wherever it is that they live, or they would have traveled to wherever it is that you are living, or maybe you guys are visiting the same place on individual trips or something. But basically, there is a very strong possibility of either them meeting you outside of their hometown, or you meeting them outside of your hometown, or wherever it is that you live currently. You will definitely feel like a catch to them, group 3, right off the bat over here. And just by looking at you, it will be very clear to your future spouse that you will either be the greatest love of their life, or you will be the worst heartbreak that they're ever going to have. Something about you will seem very, okay, they might feel, group 3, that you are out of their league, and that if they want to be with you, they will simply have to put in way more effort than they ever have in getting a partner for themselves. Because it seems over here with Go the Distance immediately being then shut down almost with this energy of impasse, is that your future spouse firstly might try to do a lot of things to grab your attention, or even to keep the conversation with you going. Maybe in a desperate attempt to get you to open up, they might start doing or saying silly things as well, but none of it would seem to have any effect on you. And why is that? Where is it that they're going wrong? What tactics do they need to change? These questions will start plaguing their mind. But the fact that you are almost impossible to read is something that they'll find extremely intriguing. I'm saying intriguing because I don't think that they'll necessarily be getting intimidated by you. But what is it that you're hiding? Or who are you really? These are certain things that I feel will keep your future spouse very hooked on to you. Now, it does seem over here with encouragement that the people they are with will sort of push your future spouse to not give up and to keep trying and to keep pursuing you. And eventually, of course, you will give in because, well, this is your future spouse. So eventually, I feel with encouragement, you might start finding them endearing. I also heard idiot. So um, it's almost as if you thought that they were annoying, but then now you think that they're very endearing almost. And I think just like one smile or one reaction from you will be, not only firstly will it make their day, but I think that will also be like good enough signal for them that okay, whatever it is that I'm doing might be taking time, but it is working. So I must not give up. But why is it that they're so desperate to get to know you, or to get closer to you? It's because go the distance over here, group 3. It seems like when your future spouse will lay their eyes on you for the first time, their heart will start racing so bad that it might feel as if it's just going to come out of their chest. You will stir up certain emotions in your future spouse that no one has ever managed to do before. It's, I can't even describe it, group 3. I'm pretty sure you get what I'm trying to say though. There's just something about you with your future spouse. They know that they will never probably meet another person like you, which is why it is so crucial for them to nail this opportunity that they're getting. And so, of course, over here, with your commitment is being tested, it will be very clear to your future spouse that you are somewhat enjoying to keep them on their feet, but they'll be up for that challenge. Okay, let's take a look at your tarot cards now. Seven of Swords, 10 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, we have the 8 of Swords. At the bottom of the deck, we have the 9 of Wands. So yeah, they will feel like you're very guarded. And why is it that you're so guarded? Why won't you let them in? Why won't you have a normal conversation with them like a normal person? Is something that they just won't be able to figure out. The 8 of Swords over here tells me that the thoughts rather of you would drive your future spouse crazy just after that first interaction, primarily because they didn't get any clarity. Does group 3 like me? Did they not like me? Will they be open to speaking to me again? Would they be open to hanging out with me? Should I ask them out? What if they say no to me? What if this is all just in my head? Basically, and again, like I said, I don't think they've ever felt this way before for anyone. No one has robbed them of their peace and simultaneously made them feel so good. And I think that is what will get them so fixated on you, group 3. Now, here's another interesting observation. With the 7 of Swords and the 10 of Cups, they will notice that you seem to be somewhat standoffish, of course, and mysterious at the same time. Like you're not easy to read. You're a tough cookie. It's not easy to understand what's going on in your mind or what's going on in your heart. But at the same time, and maybe from a distance, they would be observing that you are, laughing and enjoying and having the time of your life with the people that you're with, whether it is your friends, your family members, whoever else it is. So how is it that the same person who up until 2 minutes ago wasn't even, was giving me dry smiles and not much of a reaction, is out there acting like a total buffoon with all these other people? What's wrong with me then? What do I have to do to get this person to be this way around me? And they won't give up. And because they won't give up, of course, that is why this person will become your future spouse, because perhaps you're this way with everyone. You don't easily let other people in. Some people give up. Your future spouse simply won't. I feel like as time progresses, because 7 of Pentacles tells me that you will be testing this person and their patience, but they simply won't be giving up. Why is that? Because we have the 10 of Cups over here. even though you won't be revealing too much about yourself, you won't be willing to talk to them too much, you'd be busy in your own world and all of that, something about you, and I don't think they'll be able to put a finger on it themselves, and that's why perhaps we have the Seven of Swords over here. But there's just something about you which will make them feel, like some, you can say, download, or perhaps like an intuitive hit, that this is the person that I'm supposed to be with, and absolutely nobody else. And what's interesting over here, with the Ten of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles, is that in that same location, or perhaps at the same time, there might be other people who are desperate for your future spouse's attention, who are trying to ask your future spouse out. But your future spouse will only have eyes for you. They would only be interested in you. And I think left, right, and center, they'll just keep turning down anybody else who approaches them that day or any day after that. I think with the Seven of Pentacles over here, there is this almost neutral expression on your face, which makes it very difficult to read. Just by looking at your blank expression, or like your resting face, however it is, it's not easy to tell what must be going on in your mind or what must be going on in your heart. And usually by looking at people's eyes or their faces, you can get some idea, at least, if not the full picture. But the fact that in your case, group 3, even that is not possible, is something that your future spouse will find very, very intriguing. Somewhere it seems that your future spouse will be able to eventually put 2 and 2 together. And I think your future spouse will arrive at a conclusion that perhaps group 3 is a very sensitive and emotional person, and they might have been through their fair share of shit before, which is why now they don't like to take any chances. Maybe this isn't true, but this is what they will think. This is what they will conclude. And once they arrive at this conclusion, post that, you will notice that they are not necessarily bothering you or irritating you so much. They're giving you your space. They're not rushing to talk to you the minute that they're seeing you. They're probably just looking at you from a distance and smiling. They are trying to break that ice, but in a more controlled and slow manner now, because they have understood, even if it's an assumption, that why is it that you have these boundaries in place. And so I think that once they change their approach to pursuing you, I think that is what will do the trick. And as we've seen over here with encouragement and Seven of Pentacles, eventually you will warm up to them. All right, group 3. So these are all the messages that I have for you right now. If you like this reading, do give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new over here, and hit the bell icon when you do so. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.